No, it's not. You don't need to say that. It's not a spread bread, it's a dragon egg. It's really important. I am Emilia Clarke, and I play Daenerys Targaryen, aka Khaleesi. I mean, I could do the whole title, but I'm not gonna. Throughout this season, there's been an undercurrent of romance blossoming. Dany and Jon take it to the next level. In one night, on one boat, heading for Winterfell, heading for season 8.
Hey everyone, it's Fentony. So in this video I'm going to be breaking down the new Daenerys Targaryen Season 8 promo released by HBO. They've released videos for all the main characters. I've done Jon Snow yesterday and I'm going to get through the rest as soon as possible. In the Daenerys promo, Emilia talks about Daenerys' story so far. From being sold off to Khal Drogo by her brother to coming to Westeros with the goal of reclaiming the Iron Throne. Emilia is just so fun to watch, especially when she talks about Dany. You can tell she really cares about the character, and man, them eyebrows. I really liked how Emilia mentioned Daenerys putting her ambitions for the Iron Throne to one side. She mentions that if they don't deal with the Arm of the Dead, there won't be an Iron Throne. The sole reason Daenerys came to Westeros was the Iron Throne, but now she's found love, but we've got the end of the world to deal with before she can live happily ever after. But this is Game of Thrones after all. At the end of Season 7, she's heading up to Winterfell with Jon Snow, and Emilia talks about her romance with Jon Snow, and how they took it to the next level, one night, on one boat. I think it's safe to assume after the boat trip, Daenerys has either fallen pregnant, or she soon will be, and it seems also likely she'll end up marrying Jon Snow. We know the first episode is going to start off at Winterfell, with Daenerys arriving with all her armies and her dragons. I've talked a lot about this in the Jon Snow video, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much, but when Daenerys arrives at Winterfell, it's going to mirror the first episode when Robert Baratheon arrived. It's not going to play out scene by scene, but there's going to be a lot of callbacks, so it's going to feel familiar. She's going to ride in with Jon Snow and meet the Starks and the Northern Lords. I don't think she's going to fly in on her dragons. I think that would be too threatening. She doesn't want to come in with all her firepower, showing off how much she's got. She wants to come to Winterfell as a friend, but I do think the dragons will have some sort of entrance. Drogon will probably fly into Winterfell and land in the courtyard, just like how he done at the Dragon Pit. But whatever happens, the Northern Lords are not going to be happy to see Daenerys or her dragons. The Northerners hate Targaryens, and they'll see Daenerys just like how they saw her father, and it's likely they'll look to Sansa for leadership. But we know Sansa's not going to be happy with Jon either, but I think over time she'll accept what he's done was for the best for the North. They need Daenerys and they need her dragons. But we've got to remember it's not just an alliance Jon's built up. He's also fallen in love with Daenerys, and Sansa might be worried that might cause distractions. But the tension of Sansa will be important, but it's not going to get dragged out for too long. Expect a big speech by Daenerys on how she respects the North and she's here to help. We'll probably get a one-on-one scene between Sansa and Daenerys where Sansa questions her motives. They're not going to get on at the start, but I think eventually they'll have to put their differences aside. There's only 6 episodes in Season 8, we know they're going to be longer than an hour, but we don't know how long. They're not going to drag out Sansa versus Daenerys for too long, just like how they overhyped Sansa versus Jon in Season 7. There was lots of hype about them going up against each other, but in fact there was not much at all. The first episode is going to deal with all these reunions, and likely the second episode is going to be them preparing for the Night King, because we know in episode 3, the biggest battle in television history is going to happen. Dragonfire is incredibly effective against the Whites, but we've got to remember the dragons are also very vulnerable. Viserion was killed in one shot by the Night King. Who says he can't do it again? Emilia talks about the dragons being the source of Daenerys' power and identity, but also the fact they were her children. It's going to be even worse for Daenerys when she finds out that Viserion has been risen from the dead by the Night King and he now rides him into battle. I know the 2 other dragons, Rhaegal and Viserion, haven't had much screen time and they've not had a chance to develop a character. Drogon's had the most screen time, and he's definitely got a character. He was always the aggressive, rebellious one. The other 2 were never really given much screen time, but Viserion's going to get a lot more now. I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for Daenerys to face down Viserion. It was bad enough that she had to watch him die, now she has to watch the Night King ride his corpse. This could cause a lot of problems for Daenerys. It could cause her to hesitate whilst fighting him, and it could cost her big time. The dragons are definitely going to fight at some point in Season 8, and if Daenerys can't keep her cool and remember that Viserion is dead now and only she can put him to rest, it could cost her or someone else big time. But we've also got to consider Daenerys' pregnancy. We're not exactly sure on the time frame for these 6 episodes, and we don't know whether she'll find out straight away, or maybe later on, or whether she'll tell anyone. But I don't think she'll want it to get in the way, and I feel that Jon and Tyrion would be very protective of her, especially now that she's with child. So she might not let on that she's pregnant, but obviously she can't hide it for too long. Tyrion might even advise Daenerys to leave for Essos on Drogon, but of course Daenerys won't leave Westeros. She'll not leave her people, or Jon Snow. But again, we don't know how long season 8 is going to be. It's not going to take the Night King long to get to Winterfell, but I could see these 6 episodes spread out for several months. There could be some sort of time skip after the Battle of Winterfell. But it's not just her unborn baby and Viserion that Daenerys has to worry about. Jon's parentage is going to shape the entire season. Remember, Jon Snow's real name is Aegon Targaryen, and he's Daenerys' nephew. There's a lot of big debates going on about Daenerys and Jon's reaction to the truth about his parentage. Marrying family members was very common in the past for Targaryens, but that doesn't mean that Daenerys is going to be happy with it. It's going to be a big shock to her. Just imagine how you feel if you've met someone and you've fallen in love with them, and then you find out you're related. And the only family Daenerys has ever known was her brother Viserys, and let's just say he was not a nice person to her. Remember, when Jon called her Dany, it reminded her of her brother. It's going to be a big shock for both of them, and it might cause problems in their relationship. There could be a sticky situation with the Iron Throne as well, but Jon's not going to care about that. He's never cared about power. Of course, his parentage and the truth about who he is going to play on his mind big time, but he's not going to start wanting the Iron Throne. The dead are coming, we can deal with all the politics and relationships after, but that's if they survive. But I want to hear what you think. What's Daenerys' reaction going to be to the truth about Jon Snow? And if you've got any theories and predictions about her, leave them as well. I'm going to continue doing the rest of the character promo videos, so let me know who you want to see next. We're probably going to get some sort of teaser before we get a full trailer with new footage. But season 8 is so close now, we're not exactly sure when in April it's going to be released, but it's likely we'll find out very soon. HBO might even release another teaser with the full release date attached to it. So as always, remember to leave your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing them, and if you're new to the channel and you love Game of Thrones, make sure you subscribe. And I'd appreciate it if you could like the video as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.